You're watching the Staten Island Soccer Report. And don't forget, Monday Live.
Ho dedicato la mia vita ai momenti più felici, ad inseguire un sogno, il mio sogno. Quando ero sola, ma...
Here comes Martha, the Brazilian, with the ball. She's always dangerous. Here's a shot from long range. She scores! Oh! Martha does it again! Oh, baby, what a goal! Welcome everyone to a brand new edition of the Staten Island Soccer Report, coming to you live tonight from the studios of CTV. All right, well, we're not coming to you live at the moment, but we are coming to you, let me tell you, we're in July 2025, and soccer, it's unbelievable how much soccer is going on right now. Let me just pin this up here. Yeah, it's just crazy about the amount of soccer tournaments that we got going on. All right, I'll pause this for a second. But yeah, it's we're gonna try and get everything in here. We only have an hour, so. But before we go on, as always, I'm gonna play the national anthem. I just feel it's just right to do. Let's get that going, and then we'll be back momentarily. An amazing. Let's pause that. That's not supposed to come on. An amazing job of the national anthem. Okay, so like I just mentioned a moment ago, we got major tournaments going on. One didn't even get started yet, right? The Women's European Championship, which starts in early July. I believe it's going to be July 3rd, somewhere around there. And that's another major tournament that's going to take on, go on for a month. So, all right, let's kick it off. We're in July, so youth soccer is pretty much done, unless there's maybe a tournament here and there, maybe a beach soccer type of thing, which I was never really crazy about. But I was always the type, if the season's over, you regardless of how it went, you recover and get ready, because it's a quick turnaround into the fall season. You don't have much time really. So let's kick this thing off with the United States again. Listen, I was one of the critics, I guess you could, and I was kind of knocking them when they lost to Turkey and Switzerland, 2-1 to Turkey and 4-0 to Swiss. The team was done, in my mind. They were kind of done. And then the tournament starts, and the Gold Cup comes in, and the U.S. toys with Trinidad and Tobago, 5-0. The Saudis, listen, 1-0. Listen, as long as you score more goals than the other team, really, that's all that matters. All right, it's not about how many goals you could score. It's just beat them, score more than they can. So 1-0 against Saudi Arabia, and then Haiti, another tough game, because I believe Haiti at that time needed a result in that game. So they were playing tough. And I watched a couple of the Haitian games. Their goalkeeper, I played a clip on this Facebook page that, excuse me, he made a great save. All right. I believe it was against the Saudis. So they just couldn't hit the net. Their problem is they could not hit the net if their lives depended on it. All right. So U.S. ends up beating the Haitians 2-1. And they go undefeated in the group stage. After the two friendlies leading up to the Gold Cup, I don't think anyone thought that the U.S. would go 3-0, and regardless of who they played, just because of how they played those two friendlies. So look, again, if you're putting on the Americans national team, if you're putting that shirt on, that jersey, okay, I don't care if you're a bench player, if you're a player that found somewhere. It doesn't matter. All right, you're playing for your country. There's no backups. I mean, of course, they're missing a lot of players. Okay, but listen, that's on them. If they didn't want to join the team, that's on them. Next man up, right? So, and that's what's happening right now. As you could see in the quarterfinal game against Costa Rica, U.S. goes down quick. Okay, they go down. Don't quote me, but within the minutes of the game, right? So they go down 1-0. They fight back. They tie the game. They actually took the lead, and then they end up. Costa Rica ended up tying the game, ultimately going to penalty kicks. We're going to show. We got some highlights on that, but just going through that process. All right, taking care of business in the group stage, going down early. Coming back for a young team, this is major. It's tremendous progress, togetherness. Now, in the quarterfinals, the semifinals. I mean, they have to be going into that game with all kinds of confidence against Guatemala. All right, that game is going to be played on the 2nd. Okay, in a day or two. So July 2nd in Guatemala at 7 p.m. on Fox Sports 1. So, I mean, this U.S. team, there was a lot of talk about a lot of players not being here. You know what? Move on. You know what? You just got to keep going, and that's what they're doing right now. You know what? Let's talk about Matt Freese for a minute. This guy comes on to the NYCFC team, and I kind of seen it, and I don't know what it is. Maybe I just whatever the feeling was about him, I thought he was going to be a good goalkeeper, coming in to NYC. He ended up, to this point, I would put him at a very good goalkeeper. Okay, I would put him at a very good goalkeeper. And look, he got his shot with the national team now, and they're playing him. It's his tournament. It's his tournament to win. Can you imagine if he wins the Gold Cup? His stock is just going to go through the roof. I mean, I don't think he's going to be on New York City much longer if he wins this tournament. Maybe teams in Europe are going to come calling him. Maybe not right away, but again, you put a good team in front of him, and look what's going on with NYC. It's just they just don't have. They're lacking talent in just about every position. So again, Matt Freese playing out of his mind right now, and he is a penalty kick specialist, I believe. Okay, and you'll see it if you've seen the game. You saw. I think there was only one PK, which was the first one against, ironically, his teammate Alonso Martinez had him going the wrong way. So that was the only goal that I don't think he had his hand on, but he had his hand on every other shot that came his way. So let's just get a couple of comments, and also we're gonna play some clips of the U.S. Game from the quarterfinal against Costa Rica.
Just got offset here at Fox. Man, what a game. Back and forth, roller coaster. This was a massive growing moment for this group. Really important to get through a real game with real consequences in a knockout round. Lots of different players contributed. Of course, the star of the show was Matt Freese. He looked like he was on every single penalty. Looked like he was going to make the save on every one of them. Ended up being the star. He has now put himself in the conversation to be one of the goalies next year at the World Cup. Big game coming Wednesday. Big opportunity now with the Guatemala upset. You would expect we are the favorites and have a chance now to make a Gold Cup final with a group that a lot of people had doubts about before this tournament started. So congrats to the U.S. men's national team. So proud to watch as a fan and former player. And another chance on Wednesday to make an impression and give yourself a chance to be a part of the World Cup next year. Just got offset here at Fox. Man, what a game. Back and forth, roller coaster. This was a massive growing moment for this group. Really important to get through a real game with real consequences in a knockout round. Lots of different players contributed. of course, the star of the show was Matt Freese. He looked like he was on every single penalty. Looked like he was going to make the save on every one of them. Ended up being the star. He has now put himself in the conversation to be one of the goalies next year at the World Cup. Big game coming Wednesday. Big opportunity now with the Guatemala upset. You would expect we are the favorites and have a chance now to make a Gold Cup final with a group that a lot of people had doubts about before this tournament started. So congrats to the U.S. men's national team. So proud to watch as a fan and former player, and another chance on Wednesday to make an impression and give yourself a chance to be a part of the World Cup next year.
Yeah, I mean, basically, I said what he just said, right? Matt Freese being, I guess he was the MVP of that game, but again, he's just an up and coming goalkeeper. And unfortunately, MLS is not a league where we're going to hold on to players. We're just not going to do that here. Just only for for contract reasons. We're not paying top dollar like Europe and South America are paying. So unfortunately, that's just the way it goes. You can't keep a player down if he's excelling. You let him go, let him grow, let him join the big teams. But that's down the road. Right now, we're worrying about a semifinal game here Wednesday night, July 2nd. Let's see. Listen, never underestimate anyone. You don't underestimate. You play your game, you play it strong, and you let the chips fall where they may. So let's get to some highlights on the U.S. national team on the men's side, because don't forget the women played also. Look, we got soccer going all over the place. You got Club, World Cup. We're going to get into that also. All right, let's get to this, and then we'll even touch on some MLS.
New Jersey. One of the tournament favorites, Canada, crashed out in the quarters earlier today. They lost on a penalty shootout to Guatemala. Jose Morales, the game winner right there in the 7th round. And the U.S. also survived the penalty shootout. This one against Costa Rica. Matt Freese, 3 different saves. Damian Downs, the winner. Jenny Taft with the U.S. keeper.
Matt, congratulations. Mauricio Pochettino has been saying all along he wanted this group to feel the pressure and rise to the occasion. It doesn't get much more pressure than PKs. What went into this one for you guys?
Full team effort. I mean, I think it really shows the energy and the mentality of the group to come back from 1-0, go up 2-1, and then they get an equalizer, and then we hold on. We're pushing for a goal at the end, and then everyone steps up for PKs and does a great job.
There was a moment where you took a bit of a gamble and didn't move, making that save. 3 total saves in penalties. How much confidence did you have with this experience tonight?
Penalties are my thing. I've been the plane ride over here to Minnesota. I was studying the penalties, and so I've been studying them all week, and was ready for it if we needed it. And
you build off this emotional win tonight.
Win again. That's the only way to build.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
All right, well, there you go. I mean, he said it. Penalty kicks are his thing, and you know what? I don't understand this picking a side. Look, I played keeper, and I love that position. That's my position. I love it. I never picked a side. I always try to track the ball, okay? I know it's coming at you at a high speed, but you know what? I'm always keeping my eyes on the ball. That's how I was taught many years ago, I guess, But I'm never going to pick. I'm not going to just choose a side and go, no, I'm following the ball. So I would urge young goalkeepers to try to do that. Look what he did. He stayed. He said his coach told him to stay. So he stayed in and ball went right to him. Again, that would be, if I was training goalkeepers, we're going to track the ball. Watch where the ball goes, okay? Don't pick a side and dive, because it's just, I don't know. I think for me, my opinion on that, it's just a waste. It's a waste of an attempt to save, all right? So again, try to just track the ball. I know it's coming at you quick. Sometimes it may not. They may just try to flick it on you. You're going. We've seen this where you go, you dive, and the ball is just rolling right into the net. All right. So keepers, young keepers out there, just try to track the ball. Trust me. I know a little bit of something about goalkeeping. All right. But anyhow, yeah, you heard it there. So let's hopefully they could get through the next game, Guatemala, and get into the final. And look, we don't want to see Mexico again. I mean, almost every year, like almost every time this tournament is on, it's U.S. Mexico. But anyway, whoever it may be, but let's get there first. Okay, respect your opponent, and let's move on from there. All right, I should have started with the MLS first because it's kind of like a downer. This next segment here with the NYC, it's just I just can't figure it out. They're actually in. They're actually NYCFC is actually in the 9th spot right now. Now it's 9 teams that make the playoffs, but it's just such poor play. And also, don't forget, you got the international window open right now. So many players are missing. Matt Freeze, Alonso Hernandez, Costa Rica. Why are we playing these games? Why are we playing them? It's a joke. I mean, are we charging the fans a discounted price for these tickets? But not, all these players are not there. All right, so let's just. I'm going to play a clip of the pregame show here from NYC versus the Montreal. I'm sorry, the CF Montreal. All right, let's play this. This is the pregame. Their head coach was away due to personal reasons. Let's take a listen.
Line where the break was, and what you see, interesting. What you see afterwards is a lot of energetic people. So the guys have been back, refreshed, training really well, and getting prepared for the game.
The refreshed energy, but also several more days to build up to the game. Montreal played midweek at home. They lost to Cincinnati 3-1. They're still at home against New York City FC. Again, airtime coming up at 7:15 for our live commentary Eastern time.
Yeah.
But,
I would rather be in Montreal's shoes having played that game rather than having had the whole 16 days off playing your xylophone or playing the drums for 5 days, whatever it may be.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's...
But
I want to meet the player that plays the xylophone during their break.
There's bound to be one. But yeah, Mehdi's point wasn't Sandro Schwartz's. Schwartz was talking about the much lesser of the breaks. I agree with Mehdi that if you're going to have 16 days off, the players can take 5 days off to go and lay on the beach. And I mean actually lay on the beach. I'm not talking metaphorically. There's nothing wrong with taking your kids away and your wife, your partner, whatever it may be, because you've then still got 10 days to prepare for the next game.
So, with all this discussion about the international break and MLS scheduling and stuff, it brought to mind Dome Tehran, because Dome, he was always disturbed by different things in regard to the MLS scheduling. So I pulled out this old clip. You'll enjoy this, Maddie. Hopefully those watching and listening will as well.
We have FIFA days, but MLS prefer to play the competition. It's strange, this league for me. We play 3 in a row in 7 days. After that, we stop the league 2 weeks. After that, we have again 3 in a row in 7 days. And after that, we stop 3 weeks. If you think about that, is the balance league? Okay, I accept, but I don't understand anything right now.
And so it went with Dome Tehran during his tenure here with the New York City Football Club, 2019, when they won the Eastern Conference regular season championship. The only time they've done that. So that's in our last couple of minutes here, Maddie. Today's game, you've got New York City playing Montreal. Montreal's never had a regular season series sweep over New York City. May the 10th. So New York City came off this match against Cincinnati, 1-0 win. And I think the quote from Pascal Janssen, if I can find it, but it had something, it was something in the let me see if I can find it. I wanted to really read it directly. I know I wrote it down somewhere. But anyway, it was like, it basically was like confirming, it was confirmation that they were moving in the right direction after the win against Cincinnati. And then 6 days later, they played one of their worst games of the season and lost to Montreal. So here, for Montreal, is their first win of the year. It was their 10th game, first win of the year. Laurent Courtois got sacked 5 games in. And then Marco Donadel comes in, and he's winless in his first 6. So or 5, because this is the one coming up, the 10, and it was also the first time they've ever had a lead. It was the first time they ever led a game this season. It was again the 10th game, and they beat New York City. So what do you think today?
You've got to beat Montreal. Montreal are a bad team. They've only won 2 games. The NYCFC won, and then they beat Houston, who are a bad team themselves, or certainly were when Montreal played them. Montreal struggle to score, and they concede too many goals. They don't score a goal a game, and they've conceded nearly 2 goals a game. So they're a bad team. You have to beat them. They've lost 12 out of 19. They've lost 70% of their games. You have to beat them. That's for certain. They've just lost their best player, who signed for Anderlecht. Saliba's gone as well. They're missing a number of players. I know NYCFC are missing a few, but Montreal, they don't have a budget. They're a very small squad. And within that small squad, they have limited ability as well. So you have to be, if you are NYCFC and you have any glimpses or thoughts of playing in the playoffs, specifically in the top 4 to get in those home guaranteed home playoff tie, you have to beat the teams like Montreal. The next 6 games for NYCFC, granted, 5 of them are away from home. They're playing bad teams. They're playing bad teams in the next 6 games. They've got to be looking to win 3 or 4 of their next 6 games, and it's got to start here for me against Montreal.
Right, it's a difficult stretch. This is one we talked about right at the beginning of the season, even prior to the season. This particular segment of the schedule, 5 away from home in their next 6 with a lot of travel. I mean, you've got Dallas, Orlando.
It's the travel.
It's the travel. A lot of it's the travel, not necessarily the competition, although Orlando is one of the better teams in the conference.
It's the competition. Look, I've just written it down. Montreal are in 15th place, Toronto in 14th, Charlotte in 9th, Orlando, yes, are half decent in 5th. But then you play SKC, who are 12th in their conference, and FC Dallas, who are 10th. So you're playing some bad teams. But you're right. It's the fact that 5 out of 6 of them are away, and there's a lot of traveling as well. But still, if you want to be a successful team, you have to be able to travel and go away from home and win. And so far, that hasn't happened too much for NYCFC in the last couple of years.
One final thing, Matty. I don't know if you recognize these guys.
I do. Yeah.
So, that's Gideon Zalalem on the left. That's me in the middle. And that's Chris Gloucester on the right, Montclair's finest. And I was visiting my daughter in Albuquerque, and I had arranged with Dennis Sanchez, the head coach of New Mexico United, to go to training. And I did an interview with Dennis for Sirius XMFC. And the night before, they played Juarez in just a friendly. And both of these boys played, and they looked good, and they're making major contributions. They're number 1, top of the table in the West Conference, New Mexico United. These guys are starters. They were really. I was happy because they were happy to see me. I did features with both of them, for the podcast and for our broadcasts here on the network. But it really was wonderful to see them. They're nice guys, and Dennis loves them, and so I'm happy because your path is what it is, and they've found a place where they're happy right now.
Absolutely. They didn't have much of a chance at NYCFC. They didn't get to play, mainly that could have been down to the fact they didn't perform well in training, didn't perform well on match days. Zalalem has been well documented, suffered like serious injuries.
Yeah.
He was going to be, or should have been, one of the best. Arsene Wenger raved about him when he was at Arsenal, but then he got a very, very serious injury, and that's hampered his career, and that's what happens. But yes, it would be great if they found some fluidity and a great place to be in New Mexico.
Yep. All right, Matty. Well, we're going to get ourselves prepared for this match. It's at Stade Saputo, where CF Montreal is playing host to New York City FC. It begins at 7:15. The commentary kickoff is at 7:40 Eastern. So thanks for being with us again. For Matty, I'm Glenn, and enjoy the game, everybody.
All right. With all due respect to Matty and Glenn, we'd have to add NYCFC part of that bad team stretch that they're talking about, because by far they're not a good team. All right, they're just not a good team. Their record shows it right there. I mean, there are 8 wins, 7 losses, 4 draws. So I mean, they're talking about beating these bad teams. I don't know, they're a bad team too. And trust me, I'm a supporter. I'm a huge supporter of NYCFC. But you got to call it what it is. Right now, they're not playing well. But then again, you're missing players. You're missing the best players from every team. So it's a joke that they're even playing these games right now. That next game is July. I just saw it here. Let's see. The next game for NYC, and it's only that it's NYCFC versus Toronto Thursday, July 3rd. Okay, and then they got 3 games on the 4th of July. And then the rest of the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. But again, these games should not be going on right now, in my opinion, due to the fact that you're taking the best players off of every team. It's a joke. It's a total joke. It's been like this for a long time, and I'll continue saying it until hopefully one day they'll get it right. And I get it. You got to the time. Listen, straighten it out. Get it done. This doesn't happen anywhere else. Okay, national teams play. You got to respect the sport, and you're taking away the best players from every team, and you want fans to go see their club team when you're taking away their best players. All right, so let's just do a quick rundown of the Eastern Conference and the West. Philadelphia continues right now, just a point over Cincinnati, but they're in first right now in the Eastern Conference. Big turnaround from last season. Good for them. Again, look, in this league, you could turn it around. You add a couple of plays. And this is my opinion on this. I think with NYCFC, right, the stadium, they started building that stadium. It's not going to be ready until 27, right? And my thinking is, I don't know if they're going to bring in big names, spend big money now. I think they're waiting for the opening of the new stadium to have maybe a better team. We'll say a better team. So that's just my opinion on that. Eastern Conference, MLS, Philadelphia on top, Cincinnati, followed by Nashville, which is another surprise, 38 points. And look, the top 5 teams separated by 7 points. So we got a battle going up on top, and you got a battle going on at the bottom with all the bottom teams are bunched up together. So you got Nashville, Columbus is right there with 37 points, and then you got Orlando 33, Miami that hasn't played a game in who knows how long. They have 4 games in hand. 4 games in hand because they're in every other tournament, that's out there. That they're playing in every other tournament. So 4 games in hand, Miami. Then you got the Red Bulls with 29 points, Chicago with 28, NYCFC with 28, and that's it. The top 9, and the rest of the clubs. Look, 25 points is Charlotte. New England's got 24, and then you drop off there. DC got 18, Toronto 17. So another team. This is what they were talking about, right? The NYC should win the game, but they don't have their full complement. Although they are going to get Alonso back because the U.S. knocked him out, so he should be available for Thursday. Let's hope. And he's one of the best, actually, he's the best goal scorer. But we're not going to have Matt Freese. But we should, again, according to the standings, we should beat Toronto. But that's not how it goes. We all know that. We just lost to the worst team. Let's double check this. No, but they're not the worst team. LA is the worst team. We just lost to the second to worst team in soccer, in MLS, I should say. So, again, the numbers are one thing, but you got to play the games. All right. So, Western Conference, let's take a quick look. San Diego, hey, they took over. Vancouver had first place in the West for a good portion of the season here, and now they see themselves in second place, although it's only by 1 point. Minnesota's in third with 34 points. Portland, another team that was down at the bottom of the league last season, right now sitting in fourth place, 9 points out of the first in the Western Conference. Then we got Seattle, San Jose, LAFC with 26 points, number 7 spot. Colorado 8 with 26, and also with 26 we have Austin in 9th, and that's the last spot. Then you got Houston, Dallas 21 points, Kansas City with 20, Real Salt Lake 19, St. Louis, a team, a 1-year wonder. Their expansion year that they came in, they were a really good regular season team, and now it looks like they're struggling. They got 15 points, 14th in the Western Conference. And then the LA Galaxy won the championship last year, right? Beat the Red Bulls, sitting at as the worst team in MLS right now. And this is how this league is being, if you go back, just look back. You win a championship, the next season you're not doing well. You're doing bad, poorly, you could win a championship the next season. So it is what it is with LA. Listen, they won the championship last year, so you take a season off and you try to rebuild for next year. But that'll wrap up the MLS, right? I do want to get back to the U.S. Men's and play a clip of. All right, no, we're gonna. This is not the men's. This is a clip for the Club World Cup that's going on. Also, we're gonna get into that now. Let's play this clip from our president about the FIFA Club World Cup, which is going on momentarily in the United States. Let's play this video.
President of the United States. A very big hello to all of our soccer fans, and we have a lot of them. We're officially just 1 year away from the start of what will be the spectacular event of
All right. Might have been having some issues with that.
Stop.
Hold on a second. Let's see. Might have been having some problems with that audio. If I could get it back, let's see here. Let's see if I can get this thing back.
President of the United States. A very big hello to all of our soccer fans, and we have a lot of them. We're officially just 1 year away from the start of what will be the spectacular event of the year, the 20.
All right, we're having some audio issues with that. We'll just skip that video for now. But he was talking about the FIFA Club World Cup, and he also did mention the World Cup for next summer. It's going to be great for all the cities that it's in. Don't forget, it's also in Canada and Mexico. Speaking of Canada, they want to talk about being the best in CONCACAF. I mean, come on. You beat the U.S. when the U.S. was down and out, pretty much, and now they, look what happened to them yesterday. They got knocked out of the Gold Cup. So, Canada, I would stop trying to focus on the U.S. men's national team, trying to beat them only, because there's other countries too that you got to play against, and yesterday was kind of proof of that. And I kind of watched that game a little bit. Not crazy about the style of play, as far as just being the roughness of it. They got a red card. I mean, you're leading in the game 1-0. There's no point. You're already on a yellow, okay? And then you go and make a silly foul and get yourself a second yellow and hurt your team by going down a player. So yeah, I mean, they got a lot to learn. It's really not their sport, right? Soccer's really not a Canadian sport. But again, listen, the competition's always great. You always want to have rivalries with U.S. Canada, U.S. Mexico. So yeah, I think Canada just has to, go back to the drawing board and, just take a look at really what's more important here, focusing on just trying to beat the U.S. or actually winning a tournament. So, all right. That being said, good luck to the, to the U.S. men's team. Now, this FIFA Club World Cup, we got a game going on right now. Inter's trailing in the 18th minute. So, and then we have Man City playing later on. They have two games basically. During the week, it looks like it's a 3 p.m. Eastern time game and then a 9 p.m. Eastern time game. And the weekends, they kind of switch it up a little. They go a little earlier. So I kind of didn't know what to feel about this this Club World Cup, with the club teams. Don't forget, club teams start their season in July. Okay, we're in, so you're looking at all these teams into all the, I mean, they started a year ago. Now we're in July 2025. They started their season in July of 2024. So when are they going to get a break? What's going on here? Now, some of these teams don't get breaks. So I really didn't know what to think about this FIFA World Cup. But then, I kind of warmed up to it, and the type of money that these clubs are winning for advancing, and for a team like Miami in the MLS, I mean, it's great. Nothing but billions of dollars. I'm not saying millions of dollars, not billions. But it's definitely a great thing. and I believe Miami's eliminated. PSG kind of just toyed with them. We'll show a clip of that in a minute. But the other team from the MLS was LA, and I don't think they didn't get out of the group stage, so they didn't advance. I'm sure they got some money for qualifying, but Miami got some because they advanced into the round of 16, and but they kind of got their butts handed to them by PSG. We'll show the clip on that in a minute. So yeah, I kind of warmed up to this. I kind of like it. The only problem I have with it is, when do these teams have a break? Now, of course, if you bow out now, you may have a couple of weeks, but European teams are going to get right back at it real soon here. By the end of July, or maybe before that, they're back in camp. Because in August they start playing again. So that's the problem. And then you got the World Cup next year. It's like a nonstop soccer season all year round. All right, so let's play. I have one highlight from Miami. I'm sure a lot of fans want to see Messi versus PSG, and there really wasn't much of a contest, unfortunately. Let's take a look.
From kickoff here.
President of the United States.
I wonder how much they've been able to take from that.
And that's the beauty of it. They'll sprinkle in a veteran here and there just to keep the players in line and stuff like that, and just remind them of the way this team is supposed to be, which is a great thing too. I love that they just continued this way of going about playing for this team. And look, they're number one ranking. They deserve to be. And listen, they're the best team. I've said it for here. If you watch the show, they are the best team in the world. They'll always be the best team until you don't see them winning tournaments anymore, World Cups, Olympics, whatever tournament they're involved in. Right? When they stop winning that, then you can say that there's a problem. But I love the fact that they just keep developing players and bringing them up. You got 16-year-old players, 17-year-old making debuts and scoring their first goals. It's unbelievable. It's a great thing to see for the game of soccer. It's just too bad we can't get this. Well, right now on the men's side, it's looking okay. But it's too bad we can't have that same kind of momentum year after year developing players on the men's side. All right, one more thing I just want to mention about coaching. Lawless said it. Alexi Lawless mentioned it, but I definitely agree with him. I think you need to have an American coach coaching this national team. American coach will understand the culture here. They'll understand the players. You get a foreign coach, and he has to adapt and get to know the players and the culture and stuff like that. So that being said, I just believe that, national team coaches, you should be from that country. Just leave it like that. You know what? It may work out better, right? So, all right, let's get to the highlights for the U.S. women's game and take a look at all the young new players up and coming. Again, it's a great thing. Let's take a look.
On that left-hand side up high, Larkin really good on the dribble. If given the space, that will be a fun matchup.
The first appearance for the U.S. since the Olympics, underway from Cincinnati. Played wide by Sams.
Lucy Quinn up.
Right side, Sears. Great job to keep it in play. Coltrane. In the middle, Ryan. 3-0. Ulyssa Thompson was free. 4-0 U.S. Side, Sears. Great job to keep it in play. Coltrane. In the middle, Ryan. 3-0.
Well, there you go. I mean, it's like never even skipping a beat with this women's team. You had a girl there that scored her first goal. Again, a great job. I think they found the perfect coach for this team. As long as she wants to be here, coach, probably again for maybe another World Cup. But also before, I tell you, it's gone. We got 58 minutes. So let's just take a quick look. The European women's Euros is going to kick off. And Inter still trails 1-0, just so just an update on that. July 2nd, which is tomorrow, Iceland and Finland kick it off, a European Women's Championship, the Euros on the women's side. A great tournament, month-long tournament. It's going to, it's basically about a month, 27 days, something like that. So, we'll continue watching this. Spain, obviously, Germany, Sweden, those are the top countries. The Germans, France, those are the top countries to watch. All right, so listen, before we go, let's play one more clip, and then we have less than a minute to go here on the show.
You are watching the Staten Soccer Report. And don't forget, Monday Live.
Okay, we got pace with the corner kick late here in the first half of this game at CSI. And the corner kick, it goes right in! Oh.
Thank you again for watching. Stay tuned for another Staten Soccer Report in about 30 days.
Hey, Johnny Talk, everybody listens. Ho dedicato la mia vita